there was a report by one of your, I'm not gonna give them pub because they're not here, but a fellow site where they talked about what's Rooster's real name? Jalen Knighton. But they talked about Jalen Knighton, and then there was obviously an exchange on Twitter with I guess one of the players' moms on offense. Losing doesn't feel good, obviously, and people get frustrated. But what is the climate in the locker room like? Is that just something where just things leaked out, people just spoken out of passion, or is it some guys because the other part of it is new staff didn't get a chance to move everybody out like they wanted to, sees what they got, and maybe looking to move it out. So is there a little bit of both, or is there some discontent, or is it really just a thing where people are just making more of it than what it really is?
I think it's a little bit of both, honestly. Like, obviously, losing is not great. And then you have guys who have played medium to large roles here in the past, and they're still here on the roster, and they barely find rotation snaps or barely find special team snaps. So, I mean, just with any kind of turnover and change, you're going to have a little bit of discontent because, somebody, they got their zitch taken, you know what I mean? Or they're whatever. So there, I mean, I think that there is that. I think that, Knighton was a little bit of frustration when he spoke, because that person who tweeted that, they're very close with a lot of the players. Like, they do a lot of grassroots stuff. They go to a lot of the high school games. They're known around here in South Florida. So, like, I've been talking to, Buddy for years. So, like, if he hits me up or asks me something, like, I might be more comfortable than, like, a journalist behind a microphone. You know what I mean? Like, I've seen Buddy at Traz. I've seen him at Deerfield. I've seen him at wherever. So, but, oh, yeah, Buddy, like you're always around. So you might be a little bit more unreserved as opposed to, like, an immediate availability. And I think that the passion of the game just got to him, just like Jalen Knighton's, scored lots of touchdowns. He has, kinds of all-purpose yards in college and everything. And, is one of 2 running backs ever in the history of Broward County ever to run for 5,000 yards in a high school career. The other one being the late, great Tyrone Moss at Ely. So incredibly productive. He was always the best player on the field. But now he's not playing, but he didn't fumble 3 times in the previous 4 games before being a healthy scratch. So, like, you keep putting it on the ground, we can't play you, And I think that, like, a little bit of the frustration in the moment of that came out. But yeah, I mean, there's already been guys who've left the roster. And it will not surprise me if there are more in the offseason as Mario continues to reshape this roster in his own way. But, I think that there's still positivity, and I think that Mario's maybe been more clear inside the walls of the locker room than he's been in public to us. And I said this on the show with Mark last week, this is not a surface level refresh, right? This is not countertops and repainting the faces of your cabinets in the kitchen. This is not even a gut renovation where we tear it all down to the studs. This is a tear down in Mario Cristobal's eyes from what has been seen, right? He really, like, we're going to tear this all the way down to the ground and rebuild it. And some people are part of that and some people are not. But being more open and honest about that, I think, kind of sets the expectation, regardless of, recruiting rankings or, guys' talent level coming into college and everything, whatever you want to call that, whoever was chasing them. It clearly has not gone that way for a lot of people here in the last few years. So, yeah.
Cam, one quick question before I go, and putting our fandom aside for a moment, and somebody who covers this team. I think Miami has the talent that when they play their best, they can win 3 of the 4 games in the month of November. I think Clemson's just a much better team than anyone right now, but I think Miami talent-wise can compete. What's that?
I don't. Not as long as they play DJ Uyunglele. I honestly and truly don't. Okay. He ain't got it.
All right.
I don't think them as a program are, and that's what a little bit of the frustrating thing is, because this is clearly a year to get them, and they've been very, very, very lucky. I don't think that they're those guys at all, and especially with Dabo's refusal to go away from a guy who has shown us who he is, and they're asking him only to do 4 things, right? But you could even see in the game that he got benched, that offense is different with Cade Klubnik. And I know that it has a low number of snaps of him throwing the ball and things like that, to extrapolate that out forward. But like the minute that he crossed the sideline with a helmet on, you're like, oh, this is what they could be doing. But they choose to ride with a guy who's not that guy.
Well, let's just say, for example, Miami right now, talent-wise, should win at least 3 games in the month of November. Talent to play with Florida State, talent to play with I think they beat Georgia Tech easily next week, and the talent to play with Pitt in the season finale.
Okay.
On the same side of that, from what we've seen from Miami so far this season, is there a genuine concern right now that Miami could finish this year not being bowl eligible?
Absolutely, 100%. I said this last week with Mark. I said, it was with 5 games left. I said, we got one in a possible. One was Virginia. The possible is Georgia Tech. I don't think that Miami's beating Florida State, Clemson, or Pittsburgh. I didn't even think that would be in the realm of possibility. Now you're talking about, okay, yeah, you got to win, 2 now because you did get that 1, right? So now you need Georgia Tech and Florida State, Clemson, or Pittsburgh. So we got a possible on the to my eye. We got a possible. I'm talking about spades. Sorry. So you got, 1 game. I know, Jay. My bad. So I'm talking spades hands, but if you're looking at the games, Georgia Tech is not a certainty at all. When Jeff Collins was there, oh yeah, write that off. They fired him, and they look like almost like a league average, middle of the road ACC team. Miami is, fighting it out in the pillow fight bowl with Virginia at the bottom. I mean, that was the race for who's going to be last in the conference. That's not a certainty at all. So, yeah, to me, having to have 2 of the 4 still left, I think it's probable that Miami ends up without being eligible for a bowl rather than possible.
I'm not offended at all that you didn't assume I know how to play spades, but that's okay.
Are you going to play spades?
We'll play in the press box.
Joker, deuce, or you playing ace high? What are we playing?
Ace high. Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Okay. Hey, look, and see, James, that's why I asked, because somebody said they play spades. I need to know right now, are we playing Chicago style? Or are we playing ace high? Because we're playing Chicago, which is Joker, deuce. That's different strategically than if you play ace high. So we got to know now, because you put it out there as soon as you say you know how to play, because ain't going to be no fights, ain't going to be no other stuff, because we already set the lines of engagement.
Right. So one of the things that's important to me, because last time I went to a game, and this is why I'm not getting credentialed, is the press box food. Has the press box food gotten better?
No.
Or is it, because when we played last time, it was a hot dog, some damn Lay's potato chips, and fountain soda.
The food did get better. The breakfast sandwich at the Duke game was not stuck to the paper like it was last season.
Yeah.
It actually, they put it in its own aluminum foil. So
I will say that at least, they were getting, because it was right in the middle of when they were doing the renovations to the press box before. So they just basically went to the concession and said, hey, give us a bunch of hot dogs, give us a They do have the catering food now, like from the suites, they like cater whatever. They've had a variety of things. It's not great, but it is actual catered food as opposed to just like concessions.
So the catered food isn't, so the suite I'm going to be in, that food is going to suck too?
No, it's good. It's better. It's better than what we'll be eating in the press box.
I think that they do better in the suites, but it's like the same.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say,
you know what I mean? Because because they give the suites the like real super 3-star culinary, and then for the press box, like, all right, we're gonna bang this out,